If you struggle to win ranked games, or maybe you just keep dying off spawn, then this video is for you. I was one of the top ranked players in NA last season, and today I'm going to be breaking down my gameplay and showing you my thought process and how I win almost every ranked game I play. So if you guys do enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe, use code Farley, check out my TikTok, but now onto the video. Now the first thing that you should be doing off spawn is as soon as you pull your glider and you're gliding into your POI, you need to be scanning your surroundings and counting how many people are landing with you at your POI. This will allow you to make good decisions off spawns so you don't 50-50 for a gun and then die off spawn. So like right here, for example, I'm gliding into Lone Wolf Lair and I need to see how many people are landing with me. So I turn around and I look at how many people are landing with me. So I can see these two people are landing close to me and the other two are just behind them. Now after I do scan my surroundings and I see that the players behind me are landing to the left side of this POI, that means I need to have a off spawn plan so that I don't die. Now the next step to my plan off spawn is having a good loot route. So every single time I land at this POI, I always land at this part of the building right here, because right below me, as you can see, if I break down, there's going to be a god chest right below me. After I then get this loot, I can head inside where I can get 4 guaranteed shield barrels. Now as I'm getting these shield barrels, you notice that every other player that didn't land on my side of the POI has to fight each other, and you'll notice that I have a huge health advantage over the other players, and that means that clearing out my POI is going to be 10 times easier than if I was on their side. Now the best advice I can give to anyone fighting off spawn is learn how to fight from a box away. So like right here, for example, I see these two players fighting. Obviously I'm going to sneak up right behind them, miss my mammoth shot because I'm garbage, but then I'm able to pick up the kill. After I pick up that kill though, notice how I grab peace in this box so that this other player can't push in. After I pick up that kill, I'm then just going to make a peanut butter edit and chill on a right hand peak. Now when I see the player hugging the wall, I'm then going to shoot it with my shotgun, replace it, and then I'm going to wide edit from a box away. This means that I avoid 50-50s and I don't have to jump into another player's box. And after I make that wide edit, the player flips up his cone, so I shoot it with my shotgun, and then I start to spray the player. I'm able to then pump him and pick up a simple kill. So make sure off spawn you're playing from a box away and you're playing super smart so that you don't die in any dumb ways. Moving on now, let's talk about mid game. Now fighting in mid game is one of the trickiest things in the game right now, because every player you fight is going to be different and everyone's going to have a different playstyle. But if you want to come out on top in every fight no matter what, you need to learn how to read opponents' body language and their playstyle. For example, in this fight right here, I'm sitting on the island and the other player is looking at me and I can tell that he wants to push me. And I have a sticky launcher, so if he has any chance of winning the fight, he has to close that distance to then push me. When he starts to push me, I pull out my mammoth and I'm able to crack him. At this point, he's pretty weak, but I need to apply pressure so that this player doesn't have time to med up. So I'm going to pull out my sticky launcher and I'm going to start to spam him. Now as I'm spamming this player, I noticed that he likes to make a lot of space after I shoot one sticky. See how he's made 4 boxes even though I've only shot 1 sticky? That means that I can probably predict after I shoot this next sticky, he's going to create space again. So I'm going to shoot another sticky, let it explode. I realize he's expanded into more space. I'm then able to piece control that area that he moves into, full box him, and then pick up a simple kill just because I did so. So make sure you're reading patterns in players and you're understanding what type of playstyle your opponent has so that you can make good decisions on the fly and pick up free kills. Another question a lot of players have in mid game is, how do I fight against aggressive players that just want to jump in your box? One example of how to deal with players like that is right here. I see this bunny in front of me. I'm able to chop him out and then I'm able to take high ground. Now when I take high ground on this player, I then hear him pull out his bat and I know he's going to want to jump on my head. When he jumps onto my head, I try and piece him up, but he moves to the left, but I'm then able to basically full box him. At this point, I'm in a good position, right? So I hit a little wall reset, but I notice he pulls out his bat right now. If I stay in this box, he's going to jump in, swing in my face, and I'm going to die. So when he jumps in, notice how I instantly sprint up and I change angles and I get on a higher layer. Now after this player breaks me out and I do fall down, notice how I'm not just going to stay in 1 box of space. I instantly create 2 boxes of space in hard mats. And that means that when the player drops onto my box, I don't have to be stuck in the box that he's spraying into. I can play from this box, so when he drops in, I cone him and wall him off. I've now full pieced him. I can hit a little wall reset to bait out a shot. I'm holding the wall after to make sure if he shoots it, I can steal it back. I'm then able to edit and shoot the player, but I missed because I'm garbage. but then I'm able to pump the player and pick up a simple kill. So make sure when someone's trying to jump in your box, you're creating space and you're changing layers. Now that we've talked about fighting in mid-game, let's move on to the final part and most important part of this video, endgame, and how you watching this video can win games consistently just like me. Now to start out any endgame, the first and best advice I would give you that's going to help you consistently win ranked games is grief or focus the best player other than you in the lobby. This is going to give you the best chance of winning the game. For example, as you can see, this is me chilling in a simple ranked endgame. I know this player right here has the medallion that's going to give him super speed and just make him a threat overall. So notice how I'm not even focused on any of the people rotating in from zone on the hill. I have all of my attention on this player right here, and I'm literally just holding out a mammoth pistol waiting for him to peek so that I can get a big hit of damage. After I then shoot the player, I'm then able to get a headshot dink, and I'm going to start to push him, and I'm going to shoot him with my sticky launcher at the same time. This means that, as you can see, the player's health isn't going up at all while I'm pushing him, and that means I have a huge health advantage going forward into this fight, but it also means that this player is going to be a lot more nervous. So by the time I push this player, notice he hasn't gained any health at all. Look at how far I have ran from. I started here and I made my way all the way over to the other player without him being able to med up at all. And that means all I have to do is shoot my sticky launcher, hit a little pre-fire on the player, and I'm able to pick up a simple kill. So make sure when you're fighting in endgame or going into an endgame, you look for the best player in the lobby and you grief him in some way or another. Now after getting myself in a good position in zone, I then need to look for some free kills because I'm in such a good position. So if I want to look for any kills in this game right now, it's really one of two options. The trees are blocking me right here, so I either need to look right or I need to look left down here. Now right now, these players are more of a threat to me because they have the chance of taking high ground, so I want to grief these players as much as possible. Now while I'm looking at the other players, I then hear shots behind me, so I'm able to pick up a free kill. But after I pick up that kill, notice how I instantly turn around and look back at the other players because I know these guys are going to try to take height from me. Since I look back instantly, I'm able to crack this player. But it's not just about cracking him that's important, it's the fact that I just slow this player down and now he has to pause and he can't go anywhere. And that means that now this is the perfect time for me to rotate and get up into zone because he's distracted and this other player doesn't want to peek me. This is the perfect time for me to get up in zone and then take high ground so that I can win the rest of this game. Now, as I mentioned before, it's very important to get to the front of zone. Notice how I'm not hugging the back of zone and I'm staying in the front and holding everyone else. But the reason this is so important is because if you're like this player and you're stuck at the back of zone with zone on your back, you're going to make decisions on the fly and they're not going to be good decisions and you're going to make mistakes. Like he shockwaves, messes up his shockwaves because he wasn't prepared, and I look at him and I'm able to crack him. And that means he has to pause, take a break in a bad position, and then he runs out in the open and I'm able to hit a mammoth pistol shot and pick up a simple kill. Now after I pick up that next kill, I need to be really smart because there's only 3 players left, and if I jump into one player's box, the other player is just going to grief both of us and we're going to die. So I see this other player peek me, right, and I'm able to crack him and I get him pretty weak. Obviously then I'm going to go push him, but as I'm pushing him, I remember that the other player is on my back and he's probably going to jump into my box. I also remember that zone is starting to pull, and that means that if I get stuck at the back of zone with this player, I'm going to die. And when the other player gets in zone early, I know if I don't do the same, I'm going to be stuck at the back of zone with this guy and he's going to grief me and he's going to kill both of us. So I get my bat out and I instantly jump to the front of zone to make sure that I don't have the same fate as this guy back here. And after I get myself in zone, I'm then going to make sure to focus this player because I know he's going to make bad decisions on the fly. But I also don't want to get too invested because if I jump in his box and he cracks me, the other player could just clean me up. So notice how I'm almost going to let the other 2 players fight. This player jumps, he falls, and he dies. At this point, it's a 1v1, right? This player has high ground, I'm on low ground. But I'm not going to go build out right here where the other player can see me. I'm going to go in his blind spot. Notice how I build up below him and then use my bat to jump on the player. This allows me to land in the player's box, and then I'm able to hit a little double pump with a mammoth and pick up a simple kill and pick up a simple win. So make sure when you're fighting in endgame or just playing endgames in general, you're doing things like this so that you can come out on top and hit unreal rank just like me. But that is the end of this video, so if you guys did enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe. Also go check out my how to rank up fast video. But with that, I'm out. Peace.